The year is 2008. Ricky the Hitman Hatton is determined to stage a comeback after losing his O to Floyd Mayweather Jr. and sacrificing his 42-fight unbeaten streak in the process. After an intense return bout against Juan Lascano, Ricky wants one more standout fight before taking another crack at a world title to become a two-time champion. The fight in question for tonight is against the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi.
You're gonna see showboating, you're gonna see flashy combinations, speed, you're gonna see a talker, basically you're gonna see a fighter who is more than just business.
A man with small power, but a jab that can keep his contemporaries at bay like a metal leash on a chihuahua. So, can the Hitman line up a finishing blow like a contract killer would silence a pistol? Or will the Magic Man retain his elusivity and saw Hatton in half? Welcome back to Boxing After Dark. Tonight, we'll be delving deep into the bowels of Ricky Hatton's illustrious career in a fight that many see as the last hurrah for the People's Champ of Britain. So, while Ricky was in his twilight years, Paul was just beginning to put his foot on the gas. In a career that feels more publicized than the moon landing, Malignaggi was taking a significant step up in fighting this former champion, and the bout was sure to be a great one, if not historic. Let's get into it. Ricky Hatton in the world of England during the 2000s was akin to a superhero that could do no wrong. So whether he was being cheeky and blooming in weight from partying too late, or on the flip side, being down to earth in the gym and greeting everyone who showed an ounce of respect his way, Ricky was the people's champ as well as a literal boxing one.
Thank you for that reception. You know, just great to be back. I've missed my 6-year-old son, I've missed for a week, but I probably haven't missed him quite as much as you would probably think, because I've had the fortune to spend the full week with another 6-year-old.
But to be loved like Ricky was, he needed a fan base in the first place. So how did he do that? By being the textbook definition of the word entertaining.
20,000 Brits came to Vegas. 15,000 of them knew they couldn't go to the fight, but they just wanted to have their feet on the ground where Ricky was.
From his intense brawling style to his constant pressure he'd put on any fighter he faced, Hatton was a delight to watch, and the fans that would accompany him to almost every fight only made witnessing him in the flesh that much more ethereal. Many were now on the hype train for Ricky, but all things must pass, and Hatton had to pass through Floyd Mayweather Jr. not too long after this historic performance. His fight with Floyd was an unfortunately one-sided affair, but his heart persisted. He came out swinging to mixed results early on in the fight, but being toyed with in the second half and knocked out in the final minutes of the bout. But despite such an anticlimactic end for Ricky in what was hinted to be his last performance, his humbleness superseded any shame that could have been noticeable, and no one could knock him for taking on such a difficult undertaking while being respectful from beginning to end throughout the journey. Paulie Malignaggi, meanwhile, had garnered much attention from casuals and diehards alike due to not only his incredible trash-talking ability and rants during and between fights, but also becoming the IBF light welterweight champion 23 fights into his career.
Magic Man is here to stay, man. A lot of people don't want to give me that respect. I don't know what it is. Maybe they see this pretty boy who likes to clown around and they just choose not to see the skills, but the skills are here.
After taking his first loss in his 20th fight to the at the time magisterial Miguel Cotto by a unanimous decision, Paulie decided to break the wheels off of the undeniably talented South African named Lovemore Indu, not once, but twice for his IBF title.
I want Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton, they say he's the best. I got me a world title, but they say Ricky Hatton's still the best. I think Hatton chose the easier way out, and after he gets done with Castillo, I would like to fight him.
The bout arrived on November 22nd, 2008. As Hatton arrives with Floyd Mayweather Sr. accompanying him in his corner with an implication that perhaps Hatton had learned a few new tricks and would finally become more defensive, Paulie comes between the ropes with one of his usual wacky hairstyles and some mildly threatening stretches and warm-ups as his attempt at inducing fear into his opponent. The two fighters touch gloves and the fight begins.
Tell you what, Malignaggi looks in good shape right now.
More and do significantly tonight.
In all cases, you can actually start out.
Work out. What does he catch him with? Expected. And it's something and if he can get it going.
That's what he usually falls into, and that's coming in straight on.
Sensing the possibility of an upset already.
Their routines. And there's a big left by Ricky Hatton.
He could extend his career at roughly this stage in their careers.
He can improve on his style. Certain things, good right hand there.
Good right hand.
And that hurt him too.
There's a bloody
Malignaggi's holding
under the
on.
left eye of Malignaggi, and Malignaggi was badly hurt.
And he had a hold.
And he catches Hatton with an uppercut coming in. Malignaggi had his legs back by the end of the round.
No, really, Ricky just wants to get
as frequently or as immediate.
Punching and keep Ricky Hatton at bay.
He wants to stand in front of his guy and beat him to the punch. Hatton is learning that he can't be hurt by Malignaggi.
Look out, Paulie.
Good uppercut by Malignaggi.
Nothing with his left.
A boxer like Ricky Hatton, you got
breakage or no breakage.
And it's difficult if you don't have power.
In a no-win battle. Fifth round, Hatton 9 out of 50, Malignaggi 8 out of 36. Another one.
He's waiting for Ricky Hatton to come in when he should be.
He's in charge.
And he's comfortable. He looks comfortable.
That made him what he is. Paulie was
everything with his left hand, but they have to be double and triple.
Well, we're seeing 4- and 5-punch combinations, but they're coming from Ricky Hatton. And Hatton has rocked Malignaggi with a couple of big lefts in this round. And there's
on that right hand.
Malignaggi landed a couple of good counter left-hand shots.
Hatton looks very eager to fight. 40 to 45 pounds between fights.
Big left by Hatton walking in. Just busted Malignaggi right across the chops. Use it more.
Good punch.
There's a right hand by Malignaggi.
Either working the right hand inside or something, but he's electing.
Malignaggi's face is marked. Been swelling since early in the fight. And he rips Malignaggi with a left hook, and Malignaggi sticks out his tongue and clowns for him a little bit, but everyone could see the impact of the punch.
There we go.
Oscar De La Hoya for De La Hoya's upcoming fight with Manny Pacquiao. How much it doesn't matter. I mean, even if his right hand were absolutely perfect.
Jim, I got to tell you something. This is not the Paulie Malignaggi I know. And I've seen most of his fights because I'm a New Yorker.
It is Malignaggi, Harold. It's cause and effect.
I respect Malignaggi. That's really the fight that made him an international star. Given that Malignaggi appears to be more interested in finishing the rounds, holding when necessary.
What could be more desperate than a fighter who appears to be way behind and he can't knock his opponent out? It's like being out in the middle of the ocean with nothing in sight but water.
I think his trainer's thinking about throwing in the towel.
They're going to throw it in right now. You are exactly right. Absolutely right, Lennox Lewis. Buddy McGirt came up the steps and he pushes Malignaggi away as Malignaggi complains to him. Now watch what happens between McGirt and Malignaggi. As Malignaggi says, how could you do that? He pushes McGirt away and vice versa.
In a sweet yet sad moment of the heart from the Magic Man, he cries, not out of anger or hate, but out of love for his craft and his unfortunate performance of the night despite all his hard work to get where he is.
You would have had to knock him out to win the fight.
I understand. I understand that.
You don't knock people out.
No, I understand that. It's just like I'm better than being stopped. You know, Ricky fought a great fight. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a terrific fighter.
Is that just a humiliation for you?
It's it's a knockout on my record, and it shouldn't be, Larry. You know, like I was worse hurt in the Cotto fight.
Paulie's career would only get more hectic after this momentous night. Despite showing respectable sportsmanship after his bout with Hatton, Malignaggi would soon have many rage-filled fights, from his highly controversial loss to Juan Diaz, in which he gave one of the most hilarious yet genuine and valid rants of all time.
What would you want next?
Listen, anything that comes my way. I mean, I'm just an opponent after losing the fight. Juan can go call out the winner of Marquez and Mayweather.
Mayweather or the winner of another big fight. I don't have that luxury because I got robbed.
To his breakdown following his infamously bitter rivalry with Adrian Broner.
I'm just saying, you lost.
I know I lost. But don't, hold on, wait, but don't brag about taking my side piece. Don't brag about taking my side piece, though.
But despite Paul often being the butt of the joke in many of his fights and ending his career with a record of 36-8 with only 7 knockouts, he would become a champion one more time, taking and treasuring the WBA welterweight title while solidifying his legacy once and for all. Hatton, soon after this bout, despite flirting with the concept of jumping up to 147, found himself in a battle with the great Filipino warrior Manny Pacquiao, and after swallowing a devastating left-hand knockout in the second round of the fight, would spiral once again into depression. Ricky would have one more fight 3 years later in which he'd once again get knocked out and confirmed his retirement from the sport altogether. While he seemed to be in the worst mental state of his life during this time, luckily for the world, Ricky the Hitman Hatton found his way to the light at the end of the tunnel and managed to find some inner peace. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more from us here at Boxing After Dark, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to drop a like and comment. Thanks for watching.
Give us fish chips and curry quick before it collapses. I'm only joking.